Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video it's going to be the first autumn look I'm going to do of the year. Very much going to be the brown tones, brown lip, a subtle bit of bronze on the skin to kind of complement the brown of the eyes and the lips. Yeah, a very autumnal look. I'm very excited. I hope you're going to enjoy. And yeah, let's get started. So I'm actually going to go with a bit of a more of a matte base for today's look. So I'm going to take the MUA Pro Base Matte. I have mine in 120, which is slightly too dark for me. We'll start off with that and see how we get on. I'm going to take it on a rotating sculpting brush. Do you know what? I fancy going a bit more fuller coverage than I usually would do for today's look. So I'm just going to go a little bit more. I am looking forward to it being autumn and fall. I've got my jumpers I can bring back out, and yeah. So to match that, going in with the Pro Base Concealer, I have this in 102. I'm going to pop this under the eyes. I'm going to take my concealer brush from Iconic London. I'm just going to pat those in actually. I'm going to leave the chin to last, just to get the most coverage. Let me know what kind of autumn looks you want to see from me. I'm thinking some green tones. Like, I love to see a burnt mustard yellow type one, some berry tone, purple tones. If you've got any suggestions or anything you'd like to see, let me know. Pretty sure I've got planned a full, like an autumn lipstick video next. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Okay, now to set the skin, I'm going in with the Kosas Cloud Set. I have mine in the shade Airy. I'm going to use a sponge first to set under my eyes and the T-zone area. Now I'll use a bit of a brush for the rest of my face. I'm going to take a nice big fluffy brush and just make sure the rest of the skin is set. I'm going to stick with this brush, and like I said, I wanted to add a touch of bronze to the skin, but very subtle, to kind of tie in with everything. And I'm actually going to take the Anima Pure Maracaibo bronzer. It has been a while since I've used this mineral bronzer, so I thought it'd be a nice way, because it's quite a subtle, the shade is quite a subtle bronze on me. I thought it might work quite nicely. So I've got some in my cap. I'm going to use the big fluffy brush away from my, nope, already got it all over my leggings. Coat the brush, tap off, and then start applying this. I'm going to start with the forehead bit first. So I'm not contouring with this, I'm just adding a bit of bronze to the skin. Yeah, like I said, this particular shade from my skin tone I think works really nicely as a bronzer in the slightly colder months, because I feel it's very subtle, it's not too warm, it's not too cool toned, and yeah, I think it looks quite natural on the skin almost. Okay, so I am going to add a bit of touch of highlighter, so it's not going to be completely kind of matte. I'm going to go in with, I'm taking the Lily Sculpt and Glow Contour Kit. Oh, taking the Illuminate side, what I've got left. I wanted the more champagne shade. And I'm using a Real Technique setting brush for this. I'm just adding a bit of highlight. And for blusher, Lily Lolo's Coral Peach. I think this is going to blend really nicely with that bronzer. Okay, onto brows, taking the chocolate from ABH. And a small angled brush. Just going to go ahead and fill those in. And going with the Kosas Airbrow in medium. Okay, so on to eyes, using my Lily Lola Eye Primer. I think for the eyes it's going to be a matte eye look. I'm going to take the Beauty Bay Matte Nude Matte palette for this. I am going to start off with the shade Cinnamon. I'm going to take it on a fluffy brush. This is a 100% Pure's fluffy brush. Just wipe off all the excess on there. Oh, that's the wrong shade. Cinnamon. And I'm going to start doing circular motions onto the outer portion of the lid. And I'm going to bring it up through the crease. So I'm using a slightly fluffier brush because it's going to pick up slightly less product and make the blending process easy. I am going to go, I think, relatively deep on the eyes, but I just want to start off with a bit of transition shade. I am kind of bringing whatever's left across the whole of my lid. Going to go in with another layer just to build up, but this time just focus purely on the kind of outer portion. Okay, then I do add a bit of the orangey, yellowy colours. I'm going to mix Bare Necessity with Raw Sienna. Bit of that, bit of that. And kind of buff in this outer portion and in this inner portion right here. So kind of blending just above where we just put the shade Cinnamon. So switching to a more tapered fluffy brush, I am going to go in with Throwback. And blend this onto the outer portion of the lid. And bring it 2/3 of the way across. I'm still using quite a fluffy brush because I want to use a bit at a time, and it just really helps with the blending process. And I am kind of going back to my more winged out style for this look. I feel like I haven't done that for a while. It's been all very rounded. But I am just doing, it's not a kind of bit more of a subtle wing out. Then I'm going to take this blending brush here. This is a Sigma E25. Taking After Dark now. So this is going to pick up a bit more product because it's a denser brush. And we're going to really pack it on to this outer portion. I'm not going to bring it up into the crease, just purely focusing right on the outer portion. And then I'm going to take the fluffy brush I use for Throwback, add a little bit more Throwback on there, and use that to blend that out. So it's going to soften that darker shade and add a bit more of that rich tone in there, but still keep a bit of that depth for the outer portion. Taking a clean version, a slightly more crusty version of the E25, going back with Bare Necessities. I'm going to pop this in the inner corner. It's going to help brighten the inner corner slightly, but I feel like this tone, this kind of orangey, yellowy, muted mustard tone, screams autumn to me. So I'm going to add that in here. I'm going to take the brush I used for After Dark, the darkest one, to kind of go back over slightly where Bare Necessity kind of covered it up. Fluffy brush, and then just do a subtle blend to make sure they blend together. Okay, it's feeling very smoky, very autumnal in my opinion, which I am loving. I'm going to move to the lower lash line now, so I'm actually going to kind of work a little bit in reverse. So I'm going to take After Dark first on a pencil brush, focus on the outer portion, I'm now going to add a little bit of cinnamon and kind of go just below After Dark to start smoking it out. I'm going to bring it relatively far down, I think, the lower lash line. Take a new brush, some of nothing else, and just use that to slightly brighten this inner corner and bring along that, just a very little bit of that lower lash line. Okay, then I do want to add like a bit of a brown liner in the waterline. Now Lily Lolo's brown I think is a bit too light for what I want, so I'm actually going to take this eye pencil from La Vera, and I have it in the shade, oh it's just the shade brown, but it's much darker, so I thought that might actually work much nicer. I don't want black because I don't want it to be too harsh. But brown, this darker brown will help complement it. Okay, now I'm just going to load up my lashes with a big lash. Okay, onto lips. So I'm going to keep it a nice autumnal brown. I'm not going to go too dark just because I've gone quite dark with the eyes, but I'm going to start off with soft nude lip liner from Lily Lolo. Look how tiny mine is. Fill them in as well. And then going to take 100% Pure's Sandstone lipstick. Then to finish off, I'm going to take the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. And then that completes this look. So yeah, my first full look of the year, going with the browns, tying in the skin with the lips and the eyes, smoky, going for a bit more of a matte look, using many powders on my face, which is unusual for me. But yeah, I really hope you enjoy this first full autumn look. Let me know what kind of looks you want to see from me and kind of what the colours you want to see going forward. Like I said, my next video is going to be very much focused on kind of autumnal lips, like a lip swatch video of kind of my autumn lipsticks I have in my collection, so stay tuned for that one. But yeah, leave any requests for down below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.